Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Pavoni?
Here.
Ms. Perez?
Here.
Mr. McGurven?
Here.
Ms. Witchy?
Here.
Mr. Person?
Here.
Mr. Prince?
Here.
Mr. Corman? Roll call, Mr. Mayor, one absent.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Pavoni.
I move that we excuse the absent council member.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Pavoni, second by Mr. Prince, that council excuse Councilmember Corman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We understand that he was down in Portland, or down in Oregon, excuse me, watching the eclipse, so he's trying to get back through all that traffic. Okay, first item on the agenda are two proclamations.
Okay, the first proclamation is for Ready and Renton Month. Whereas September has been designated by the President of the United States of America as National Preparedness Month and coincides with the City of Renton's Ready and Renton Emergency Preparedness Campaign. And whereas Renton has experienced natural and human-caused disasters in the past, and scientific evidence indicates the city and the region remain vulnerable to disasters in the future. And whereas the city and region are located in a geologically active area and are particularly at risk for potential damage due to earthquake and other ground movements. And whereas investing in the preparedness of ourselves, our families, our businesses, and our neighbors can reduce injuries, fatalities, and economic devastation from disasters of all kinds. And whereas the basic steps of emergency preparedness are the same for everyone, make a plan, build a kit, be prepared to be self-sufficient for the newly recommended time period of up to 2 weeks, and help one another. And whereas because staying informed is a vital part of responding appropriately to emergencies, all members of the Renton community are encouraged to locate and bookmark their sources of emergency information in advance at rentonwa.gov and to follow the city's social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter, and Nextdoor. And whereas Ready and Renton creates an important opportunity for every member of the Renton community to prepare their homes, businesses, and neighborhoods for any type of emergency. Now, therefore, I, Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2017 to be Ready and Renton Month in the City of Renton, and encourage all Renton residents to formulate a preparedness plan. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 21st day of August 2017, and it is signed by Mayor Dennis Law.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Pavoni.
I move the proclamation be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Pavoni, seconded by Mr. Prince, that this proclamation be adopted as read. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We're very fortunate in Renton to have an excellent emergency preparedness department that is going to keep this city as safe as possible. And here to receive the proclamation tonight is Deborah Needham, who is our Director of Emergency Management.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of council. I think this year, one of the changes that we have made is in recommendations from Red Cross, FEMA, has been to extend the amount of time we're asking people to be prepared. And I realize that sounds like a lot to some people. We're now saying that being prepared for 2 weeks is really prudent. I also recognize there are many people in our community for whom being prepared for even 3 days was a challenge, and being prepared for 2 weeks may be nearly impossible. The point is that everyone can do something, and that help each other part, that's what the Renton community is about. So when you know that you have neighbors who really can't make that 2-week thing, to think of them in the post-disaster environment and to reach out to them. The other thing that we've noticed is that with the increasing diversity in our city, we have more and more people who may not speak English as their first language and may have trouble receiving emergency messages. So making a special effort to reach out to your neighbors to make sure they understand emergency messages and they get the message. That's how Renton pulls together, and that's how we get through a disaster. So thank you very much for this proclamation.
Thank you, Deborah.
Okay, the second proclamation is regarding National Recovery Month. Whereas behavioral health is an essential part of health and one's overall wellness, and whereas prevention and treatment of mental and substance use disorders is effective and people recover in our area and around the nation, And whereas preventing and overcoming mental substance use disorders is essential to achieving healthy lifestyles both physically and emotionally. And whereas we must engage relatives and friends of people with mental and/or substance use disorders to implement preventative measures, recognize the signs of a problem, and guide those in need to appropriate treatment and recovery support services. And whereas an estimated 400,000 people in King County are affected by these conditions. And whereas to help more people achieve and sustain long-term recovery, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, and the City of Renton invite all residents of Renton to participate in National Recovery Month. Now, therefore, I, Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim September 2017 to be National Recovery Month in the City of Renton, and I encourage all citizens to observe this month with appropriate programs, activities, and ceremonies to support this year's Recovery Month theme, Join the Voices for Recovery, Strengthen Families and Communities. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 21st day of August, 2017, and this is signed by Mayor Dennis Law.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Pavoni.
I move the proclamation be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Pavoni, second by Mr. Prince, that this proclamation be adopted as read. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We've heard a lot over the last couple of years about the impacts of mental and substance use disorders throughout the whole country, but certainly King County has been far from immune from that. And so it's great, Council, that you've adopted this proclamation. I think public awareness is going to be one of the things necessary for us to start attacking this real significant problem. We're fortunate tonight to have Jan Rose and Ottaway Martin from the Behavioral Health and Recovery Division of King County to receive this proclamation. Thank you for being here this evening. Let's stay there, Megan, so we can get a picture. Thanks, Ava.
One second, I put it in my pocket for the picture. My name is Jan Rose Ottaway Martin, and I'm a behavioral health contract monitor with King County Behavioral Health and Recovery Division. On behalf of people in recovery living in King County Behavioral Health and Recovery Division, and the citizens of Renton, we thank you for your leadership and support for mental health and substance use recovery, and for proclaiming September 2017 as National Recovery Month. We also want to recognize people in recovery and our local agency partners who provide prevention, intervention, treatment, and support to people and families who are seeking recovery from mental health and substance use issues. Our system in King County is made stronger by peer specialists. For those who don't know, peer specialists are people who have enriched our system. They're people with lived experience in mental health or substance use, or in homelessness also in King County. Today I have with me Beverly Miller. Beverly Miller is a state-certified peer specialist and actually leads the trainings in King County for our other peer specialists in our system. And Beverly wanted to share a few words.
Thank you. I wanted to, I know everyone always hears about the problems with people with lived experience and with mental health and substance abuse challenges, but I'm here to share the good, the progressive side. I've been involved with peer specialists since 2005, and these are all people who now work in the field and help people that are where they used to be. And the change in people from when they're struggling with their problems to when their recovery is strong and they're contributing to society is very exciting, and they're dedicated, hardworking people. So your proclamation means a lot to us, and it speaks directly to what you talked about in terms of fighting stigma. So representing a lot of peer specialists, I want to thank the City of Renton.
Great. Thank you very much, both of you, for being here tonight. Okay, now we're going to move on to a public hearing on an annexation.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. My name is Angie Mathias, and I'm a planner here with the city in the Department of Community and Economic Development. And tonight is a public hearing. We don't do these very often, but it's a public hearing regarding just the zoning for the annexation, and I'll explain more about that as we move through. So the annexation process here is just sort of like a flowchart type image showing the annexation process. And this annexation has gone through your 60% public hearing, notice of intent to the Boundary Review Board, their review, and then their final approval to go ahead and move forward. And now we're holding a second public hearing in the matter of zoning, which is required by state law. So King County issued their closing letter for completed action on June 8th, 2017. So it's been approved for final action. That final action is the city adopting an ordinance, making that annexation happen. However, when we zone annexation areas, it requires 2 public hearings. Most of the time when I bring an annexation forward to you all, it's in the East Renton Plateau area, which we've already pre-zoned, but this annexation is not an area that's been pre-zoned, so that's why we're doing this now. The first public hearing in the matter of zoning was February 27th of this year. So as you can see, the annexation is up in the northern portion of the city limits, and is why it has not been pre-zoned. This is an aerial of the site. It's just this single parcel that's about 2.7 acres in size. So we look at some of the existing conditions to sort of inform how we might want to zone something. So this area does have some steep slopes. That's that area of red that would be regulated under our critical areas regulations, but most of the site does not have that limitation. Other environmental constraints, there are no wetlands within the proximity of the area that have been identified by the city of Renton. There is Honey Creek that is approximately 700 feet to the southwest of the site, but nothing that would impact this site and be a consideration in this matter of zoning. It's currently designated by King County as urban residential low and is zoned R1 by the county. In Renton, it's designated with residential low density, and that allows for a range of different zones, RC or resource conservation, R1, which allows 1 dwelling unit per acre, or R4, which would allow 4 dwelling units per acre. So one of the other existing conditions that we like to look at is what the surrounding zoning is. And so all the area that is existing in the city of Renton already has been zoned R6. And so that's not a zone that's available under the residential low density land use designation, but that is the existing zoning for the other areas that are already in the city. So we go to our comprehensive plan to see what we would zone something. And so the resource conservation zone is for areas that are really significantly constrained by environmental impacts. So they've got wetlands and streams and that sort of thing. And so it's really unlikely and not appropriate that it would ever really be used for urban land use. It's better set aside as sort of more of a resource conservation land. We tend to zone R1 lands that still have significant environmental constraints, but there is the potential for development. So with the buffers and all of that, there still would be the capacity for it to develop, but it just needs to be done in a careful manner. We zone the R4 zone in areas where there is opportunities for larger lot development, but there aren't environmental constraints. There may be some, but they're not significant like there would be with the R1. So those steep slopes, that small area of topography, it would not be considered a significant constraint. So staff is recommending that we zone the area R4, which is consistent with our comprehensive plan land use policy criteria. So the administration recommends first that council approve the first reading of the zoning ordinance and approve first reading of the ordinance zoning the area R4 consistent with that residential low density land use designation. That gets done as 2 separate ordinances, just to be clear. And that's all that I have.
Okay, thank you, Angie. Any questions from council? Do we have any correspondence?
No, we do not.
Okay, we have one person signed up to address the council. Please come forward to the podium. And you can give your name and city of residence for the record, and then you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor Dennis. My name is Khwaja Ali, City of Residence, Renton. We are in the immediate neighborhood of this annexation lot, namely the Honey Creek Homeowner Association, and we just like to bring on record that the zoning should be zone 4 or zone 6 or better, because it's going to directly affect the values of our home. So we just like to bring that on record. Otherwise, what has been told, I think that's good.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
What's the wish of the council?
Move we close.
Close the open hearing.
Move we close the public
Move we
hearing.
close the vote. Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Prince, second by Mr. Pavoni, that we close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, and we do have action later in the council meeting. Okay, moving on to administrative report. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to administrative report, Mr. Covington.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Council, a couple of items to bring to your attention and the public's attention. First of all, something that I think all of us are aware of, Main Avenue South. We have changed that from a one-way street to now a two-way street. You can now go northbound from 3rd to 2nd. This is a project that had several purposes to improve circulation, obviously, in our downtown. And it will serve as a significant gateway project into our downtown area. And it's the first project of several that we have in the planning stages or that are beginning the stage of implementation to improve our overall circulation in the downtown area. So we're excited to have that finally opened, and we think the public hopefully will find it more convenient to get in and around that area. Tomorrow is the farmers market from 3 to 7 p.m. Folks, I want to encourage folks to go out there. The number of events and activities, in addition to great fruits and vegetables, there'll be cooking demonstrations, children's activities, and other things. So it's been a good success this year. We want to encourage folks to continue to support that. This time of year, we always conduct some annual maintenance for some of our community facilities. Our Renton Community Center is currently closed for its annual maintenance. It'll reopen next Monday, the 28th. And the Senior Activities Center is scheduled to close for its annual maintenance on the September 11th. It'll reopen 2 weeks later on the 25th. I wanted to also mention, we obviously continue with a number of street construction projects as we work to get those accomplished while the weather is good. The state is in the process of working on a project on I-5 that we think may impact us. They're actually warning us a little bit about suggested backup. So this weekend, beginning the 25th, they're going to be doing some work on northbound I-5 between South 260th and the Duwamish River Bridge. They expect significant backups that will reach over into I-405 as well. So we want to just let folks know to be aware and watch for traffic updates so you can get around there. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Covington. We don't have anybody signed up for audience comment unless you forgot to sign up, Howard.
No, we're just fine. We had a great eclipse today.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda, we have 4 items for council consideration. Are there any items that council member would like pulled for discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to pull item C.
Okay. Anything else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Pavoni.
I'd like the council to concur with consent agenda minus item C.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Pavoni, second by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the consent agenda minus item C. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Person.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, item C has to do with a recommendation from the police department to, in an agreement with American Traffic Solutions, to put traffic cameras around the rest of the grade schools that we had committed to a long time ago. And we were briefed in the Public Safety Committee, and I think the whole committee, the whole council has been the whole council has been briefed and involved in this discussion over the last couple years. So with that, I would move that the council approve item C.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince, that item C of the consent agenda be approved this evening. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, moving on to unfinished business, Mr. Pavoni.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Ms. Perez?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Transportation Committee has 2 committee reports to present.
The The first committee report is regarding an amendment to lease agreement LAG 84-006 with Aerodyne LLC. The Transportation Aviation Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute Amendment 16-17 to lease agreement LAG 84-006 with Aerodyne LLC for an automatic lease rate adjustment that will increase the annual leasehold amount from $58,774.53 to $62,378.80, effective September 1st, 2017. And this is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommended action of the Transportation Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Perez, seconded by Ms. Witchy. The council concur with the Transportation Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
The second Transportation Committee report is regarding an amendment to lease agreement LAG 14-005 with Rainier Flight Service LLC. The Transportation Aviation Committee recommends concurrence with the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute Amendment 05-17 to lease agreement LAG 14-005 with Rainier Flight Service LLC for an automatic lease rate adjustment that will increase the leasehold amount from $93,482.64 to $99,253.77, effective November 1st, 2017. And this is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Perez.
I move that council concur with the recommended action of the Transportation Committee.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Ms. Perez, seconded by Ms. Witchy, that council concur with the Transportation Aviation Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
That will be
Mr. McIrvin.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Ms. Witchy.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Community Services Committee has one committee report.
This committee report is regarding an appointment to the Renton Municipal Arts Commission, Kimberly Patterson. The Community Services Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to confirm Mayor Law's appointment of Kimberly Patterson to the Renton Municipal Arts Commission for a term expiring on December 31st, 2019. And this is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Witchy.
I move that the committee concur with the Community Services Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Witchy, second by Mr. McIrvin, that council concur with the Community Services Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, Mr. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have?
No, I said that is all.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Person?
Yeah, Finance Committee did a little bit of work again this week, so.
Okay, the first Finance Committee report is regarding the approval of claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves for payment on August 21st, 2017, claims vouchers 5537 through 5547, 10040 through 10041, 358718 through 358722, 358725 through 359028, 359051 through 359398, and 7 wire transfers and 1 payroll run with benefit withholding payments totaling $5,240,230.48, and payroll vouchers including 736 direct deposits and 55 payroll vouchers totaling $1,425,283.49. And this is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
the Finance Committee this time had 190 pages of vouchers to review. But I think one of the nicest things about this review was in there was 293 senior low-income utility rebates that the city many years ago had a request to get low-income seniors a break on the our utility tax. And we were able to come up with a way that we could reach all of the low-income seniors that apply. They need to apply, but they don't need to own their house. They could be renting. And so with this voucher run, we'll approve 293 of them. That's the total amount for the year. And that amounts to $37,137.89. I think it's something that we can give back to our senior community. Then, as Ms. Witchy pointed out, another thing that's making downtown Seattle look nice, we paid $4,100. Renton. Did I say Seattle? Downtown Renton. $4,180 to Kaleidoscope to keep our flower baskets, 120 flower baskets up around the city. And for the pet lovers out there, we spent $4,114.34 taking care of stray pets this month. Needless to say, we kept the lights on again for $119,772.35. With that, I move the council concur in the recommendation of the finance committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, second by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, the second Finance Committee report is regarding Amendment Number 4 to the 2015 through 2018 Fresh Bucks Implementation Agreement. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the Amendment Number 3 to CAG 16-129 with the City of Seattle Office of Sustainability and Environment to accept additional Finney grant funding for 2017, increasing the amount by $15,577.70 to fund and incentive programs for shoppers using their Supplemental Nutrition Assistant Program's SNAP benefits. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor, another
Yes.
good one where we get money in and it goes to a good cause.
And that's
Letting-
from the city of Seattle. We're
And it's from
partnering
the
with.
city of Seattle. That's where I was thinking of the city of Seattle. Maybe they'll help us pay for our watering next year.
There we go.
With that, I move the council concur in the recommendation of the finance committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, second by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, the next Finance Committee report is regarding a utility billing adjustment for Westgate Condominium. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the utility bill adjustment for the city, sewer, and King County Metro-related charges from a water leak at the service address of 2300 Benson Road South, as presented for the total amount of $9,754.80. The adjustment includes city sewer and King County Metro charges above their normal usage. And this is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Person.
Again, this is, we're getting very few of these adjustments anymore because of our new system where our computer notices overusage right away and we send the letter out. Actually, well, this is a lot of money. They paid for the water, but it was a leak, so it never went into the pipe utility, never went into the sewer pipes. Therefore, we're not charged for it, so we're waiving that part of the bill. With that, I move that council concur in the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, the final Finance Committee report is regarding a utility billing adjustment for Kentucky Fried Chicken /A&W. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the utility bill adjustment for water, sewer, and King County Metro-related charges from a water leak at the service address of 604 Rainer Avenue South, as presented for the total amount of $4,515.20. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr.
I
Person.
move that council concur in the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it.
And Mr. Mayor, under old business, I just want to confirm an action that we took last week referring whether there was going to be a bond issue in next November to a citizens committee. And I want to be sure that my understanding of what we did was right, and that is that the city council will appoint a citizens committee, so this council will be involved in the selection of those people.
Correct.
Okay, that's all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Prince, what did you do this
No,
month?
I did enough work in finance, so I don't have anything for planning and development. No unfinished business. Mr. Mayor.
Moving on to legislation, we have two ordinance for first reading, and we have, well, we've got a bunch of ordinances. Go ahead, Megan.
Okay, the first ordinance for first reading is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, vacating a 6-foot alley located in the vicinity of Stevens Avenue Southwest and Southwest Sunset Boulevard. Wait, that's wrong. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I think we have an annexation.
Yes, we do. Please hold. My packet was in the wrong order. I got it. Okay, so the first ordinance is an ordinance annexing certain territory to the City of Renton.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move the ordinance be moved to second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, second by Mr. McGurven, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, the second ordinance for first reading is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, establishing the zoning classification of certain property annexed within the City of Renton from R4, urban residential 4 dwelling units per acre, King County zoning, to R4, residential 4 DU/AC, 4 dwelling units per acre, City of Renton zoning.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, seconded by Mr. McGurven, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, so the first ordinance for first reading and advancement to second and final reading is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, vacating a 6-foot alley located in the vicinity of Stevens Avenue Southwest and Southwest Sunset Boulevard.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. McGurven.
I move that the ordinance be placed on second and final reading tonight.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. McGurven, seconded by Ms. Perez, that this ordinance be advanced to second and final reading this evening. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, I will do the reading again. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, vacating a 6-foot alley located in the vicinity of Stevens Avenue Southwest and Southwest Sunset Boulevard.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. McGurven.
I move that the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. McGurven, seconded by Ms. Perez, that this ordinance be adopted as read, and it requires a roll call.
Mr. Pavoni?
Aye.
Ms. Perez?
Aye.
Mr. McGurven?
Aye.
Ms. Witchy?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
The ayes have it.
Okay, we have one ordinance for second and final reading, and that is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending RMC sections 6-6-1, 6-6-4, and 6-6-5, repealing RMC sections 6-6-3, and adding a new RMC section 6-6-13, enforcement and penalties, all to clarify owners' responsibility to control their animals, including making animal owners strictly liable for their animals being at large, and strengthening penalties for violations, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr.
Mr.
Mayor.
Mr. Person?
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that this ordinance be adopted as read, and it requires a roll call.
Mr. Pavoni?
Aye.
Ms. Perez?
Aye.
Mr. McGurven?
Aye.
Ms. Witchy?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
The ayes have it. Thanks, Megan. Moving on to new business, Mr. Pavoni.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. First, on August 28th, Monday, we will have a council holiday and there'll be no meeting. And then September 4th, on Monday, that will be Labor Day, we will also have no meeting. Moving on to September 11th, at 5 p.m., the Committee of the Whole will meet in the conferencing center. We have 4 items to discuss. The first is C3 Fiber Ring Consortium Report. Second is Source of Income Discrimination. The third is Alcohol Impact Area Discussion. And the last is Parks, Trails, Community Facilities. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Perez.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. McGurven.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I just want to announce that the Utilities Committee, scheduled for August 24th, has been canceled. And then second, I wanted to address an issue that I know Council has received a fair amount of correspondence on the issue of missed solid waste collection, and I just wanted to refer that issue to the Utilities Committee. So I want to, I move that we refer solid waste collection to the Utilities Committee.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. McGurven, second by Ms. Perez, that the issue of missed service on solid waste be referred to the Utilities Committee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Witchy?
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Person?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, oh, man, it seems like a long way. September 11th, Monday, at 4 PM, the Finance Committee will meet in the council conference room, and two topics, vouchers and emerging issues and revenue streams. And also, I would like to put a big thank you out to Community Services today. As some of you may or may not know, every once in a while, I get a call to pick up some food for the Center of Hope and the Salvation Army Food Bank. And today it was really late in the day, and I was told to bring one truck. And then as I'm sitting with lunch with my granddaughter, they text us and say, you better bring a second truck. So I want to say thank you to the Community Services Division. They responded, and we got all that food taken care of, and I don't know how many thousands of dollars of food that was donated, and it was all high-end restaurant quality, and it would have gone to waste if it hadn't been for them. So I just want a big thank you to them.
That's great. Thank you to you too, Don, for all the work you do with that. Okay, Mr. Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, on August 24th, Thursday, the Planning and Development Committee meeting has been canceled.
Mr. Person, were you going to cancel your public safety
Oh, yeah,
meeting?
gotta cancel that.
Oh, yeah, I'll cancel Mr. Gorman's public safety meeting because he's going to still be in Oregon trying to get home.
Okay. Did we get everybody? I think we
Yep.
did. Okay, what's the wish of the council?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Pavoni, seconded by Ms. Witchy, that we adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.